If you've ever wondered what the world's richest people do when they're not buying super yachts or launching themselves into space, the answer might surprise you. Some of them are pretending to be broke, hoarding underground bunkers, and strategically relocating to Florida like it's the promised land. Sounds weird, right? But behind the private jets and luxury lifestyles, billionaires are playing a whole different game of survival, secrecy, and wealth protection. Whether it's dodging taxes, prepping for doomsday, or securing an escape plan in case society turns on them, the ultra-rich aren't just thinking about making money, they're thinking about how to keep it safe, and if necessary, disappear at a moment's notice. From secret offshore accounts to golden passports and bunkers that look more like five-star hotels, billionaires are making moves the rest of us can barely imagine. So why exactly are the world's wealthiest acting like the world is about to collapse? For most of us, prepping for a crisis means stocking up on canned beans, bottled water, and maybe an emergency flashlight. But for billionaires, it means buying entire islands, securing citizenship in remote countries, and building luxury bunkers outfitted with years' worth of supplies. While it might sound like a plot from a dystopian novel, many of the world's wealthiest individuals are taking global catastrophe preparation extremely seriously, investing millions into off-grid survival plans in case society collapses. Whether it's climate change, nuclear war, artificial intelligence going rogue, or an asteroid doing a repeat of the dinosaurs' extinction, the ultra-rich aren't taking any chances. Take New Zealand, for example. This quiet, picturesque country is now considered the apocalypse escape destination of choice for tech billionaires and venture capitalists who see it as a stable, isolated and defensible stronghold. Peter Thiel, the co-founder of PayPal and an early Facebook investor, went as far as securing New Zealand's citizenship and purchasing a massive estate there, not for a vacation home, but as a backup plan in case civilization implodes. He's not alone. Several high-profile investors have quietly acquired properties in Alaska, remote parts of Montana, and even underground bunkers in the Midwest, all designed to keep them safe when the world outside becomes too dangerous. And it's not just about having a place to hide. These billionaires aren't planning to rough it in the wilderness like the rest of us might have to. Their bunkers aren't cramped fallout shelters with dusty canned goods and old radios. They're high-tech, luxury compounds equipped with everything from indoor farms and purified air systems to private security forces and even underground swimming pools. Some of the most extreme plans include self-sustaining bunkers in New Zealand, where artificial intelligence will manage food production and security in case human society crumbles altogether. Meanwhile, closed-door conversations among ultra-wealthy investors reveal even more extreme levels of planning. Debates over whether it's better to fortify a private island or a deep inland retreat, how to ensure private security remains loyal when the world collapses, and how to stockpile resources without drawing public attention. At its core, this billionaire doomsday prepping reveals a deep distrust in governments, infrastructure, and society's ability to endure major crises. While the average person is left wondering what happens next, the world's wealthiest are already securing their golden parachutes, ensuring that if the world burns, they'll be watching from a comfortable, high-tech bunker with a private chef and a year's worth of gourmet meals. Turns out that even billionaires, with their mansions, private jets and offshore bank accounts, aren't sleeping easy at night. While most of us worry about paying rent or affording groceries, the ultra-rich have a very different concern. What happens if society turns on them? With wealth inequality hitting historic highs and public frustration growing louder, many of the world's wealthiest individuals are bracing for social unrest, mass protests, or even outright revolts. They're not just paranoid, they're actively preparing. Some have installed panic rooms in their homes, hired round-the-clock private security, and built underground bunkers with escape routes in case the unruly masses come knocking. Billionaires, of course, know they've benefited from a system that increasingly favours them. Many quietly acknowledge that their extreme wealth, corporate influence, and growing economic disparity could eventually spark backlash. Douglas Rushkoff, a media theorist who has spoken with several tech elites, recalls how billionaires have openly asked him how they could keep their private security forces loyal in a crisis. In other words, they're wondering how to ensure their guards don't turn against them if money suddenly becomes worthless. That's a level of paranoia most of us can't even comprehend, and they're not wrong to be worried. History has plenty of examples of wealth inequality leading to uprisings. Just ask the French aristocracy in 1789. Today's billionaires aren't sitting around waiting for the guillotines to come out. They're actively planning for escape routes and self-sustaining hideouts. Some have contingency plans to flee to private islands, remote estates, or even underground cities if unrest erupts. For example, Silicon Valley elites have purchased vast tracts of land in New Zealand, Alaska, and Montana, all strategically chosen to be defensible in case of societal collapse. Their goal: survive in comfort while the world outside descends into chaos. What's most telling isn't just that they're preparing for this, it's that they believe it's inevitable. Instead of investing in solutions that might ease inequality, they're hedging their bets on survival. The fact that they're worried about controlling their own security teams if the economy crashes suggests they see their wealth as unsustainable in the long run. Rather than engaging in meaningful change to prevent unrest, many of them are placing their faith in bunkers, fortresses, and escape plans. Whether their fear is justified or self-inflicted remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: when billionaires are this worried, the rest of us have every reason to pay attention. For billionaires, Florida isn't just about the sunshine beaches and luxury high-rises, it's about building an ironclad financial fortress. While many people assume the state's appeal is simply its lack of a state income tax, Florida's real magic trick is in its wealth protection laws. From no estate tax to robust asset protection, Florida has created an environment where the ultra-rich can preserve their fortunes, shield assets from creditors, and minimize taxation on investments and inheritance. Florida allows billionaires to pass down their wealth untouched. For someone with a multi-billion-dollar estate, that's not just a small perk, it's a game-changing financial strategy. Additionally, Florida has no state-level capital gains tax, meaning investors who sell off massive stock holdings or cash out on real estate deals keep significantly more of their profits compared to those living in higher tax states like California or New York. But the real crown jewel of Florida's financial protection system, the homestead exemption. This legal provision allows residents to protect their primary residence from creditors and lawsuits, regardless of its value. That means a billionaire could sink hundreds of millions into a mansion in Palm Beach or Miami, and that home would be off limits to anyone trying to sue them or collect a debt. This isn't just theoretical. Many high net worth individuals have strategically purchased Florida real estate to store wealth in a legally protected asset. Combine that with the use of revocable trusts and asset protection strategies under Florida law, and the result is a nearly impenetrable shield against financial threats. It's no wonder billionaires like Jeff Bezos are rumored to be eyeing Florida as their new tax haven. Moving to Florida isn't just about escaping winter or saving on income tax. It's about ensuring their wealth stays intact for generations. In a world where lawsuits, taxation, and estate planning complexities can drain fortunes, Florida offers the ultimate legal loophole. The state isn't just a retirement destination, it's a billionaire's financial safe house. Billionaires aren't willing to bet everything on one country, one home, or one financial system. Instead, they're playing a global game of chess, spreading their assets, citizenships, and physical refuges across multiple jurisdictions so they can escape, relocate, or adapt at a moment's notice. Take second citizenships, for example. Acquiring a golden passport through investment is now a booming industry, with countries like Portugal, Malta, and St. Kitts and Nevis offering residency or citizenship in exchange for hefty investments. Billionaires see this as an insurance policy. If the political or economic climate in their home country turns hostile, they can pick up and leave without disruption. The pandemic proved just how valuable this strategy is. Reports showed that inquiries from US millionaires about moving abroad skyrocketed by over 200%, highlighting a growing interest in having a second home in a more stable environment. And it's not just about passports, it's about safe locations and hidden wealth. Many billionaires quietly purchase homes in Switzerland, Singapore, or New Zealand, viewing them as stable, low-risk countries where they can keep assets protected from unpredictable changes in laws or public sentiment. Offshore bank accounts, tax shelters, and secretive trusts allow them to keep their fortunes secure, even if governments introduce harsher regulations on wealth accumulation. Then there's the physical aspect of escape planning. Luxury bunkers and remote estates aren't just about doomsday prepping. They're a tangible way to ensure a safe retreat in case of social breakdowns or targeted backlash. Billionaires are keenly aware that rising inequality and economic instability could turn public anger towards them. So having a fortified, self-sustaining refuge isn't just paranoia, it's a calculated move. At the heart of it all, flexibility equals security. The world's wealthiest individuals operate under the belief that governments can change overnight, economies can crash, and social contracts can break. By diversifying their assets, homes, and citizenships, they ensure that no single event can strip them of power, influence, or safety. To them, survival isn't just about having money, it's about having options. At first glance, it might seem like billionaires are just being overly paranoid, but when you look at their actions, hoarding bunkers, fleeing to Florida, securing offshore wealth, and collecting second passports like Pokemon cards, it's clear they're not taking any chances. Whether it's a global crisis, rising social unrest, or shifting tax laws, the ultra-rich aren't waiting to see what happens. They're hedging their bets, diversifying their escape options, and making sure they stay protected no matter what. While the average person hopes for stability, billionaires are planning for every possible scenario where things go south. Their survival strategy isn't about just having money, it's about keeping power, control, and the ability to move freely when the world around them becomes unpredictable. Whether these extreme preparations are justified or just next-level paranoia, one thing is clear: when the richest people in the world are this worried, maybe the rest of us should be paying attention too.